Testing. I'm gonna cut these parts off. I'm gonna cut this part off because I'm live. I have to make sure that it says that I'm live every single time or whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna get right into it. I don't want to be too long because I know when I get to talking, it's gonna be real long. So I know y'all see people all over social media, with the propaganda, okay? And I hope this video is not too crazy or whatever, because I know how when you say certain things, you know what I mean, that it's just kind of like, I've seen all over the internet, they're saying that Harriet Tubman is not real, she didn't exist, and all just type of crazy stuff, crazy stuff. And so people are catching on like, girl, this is y'all setting us up. And so now it's a trend. Propaganda I'm not falling for. And so I wanted to do propaganda I'm not falling for, like in love, mindset, career, and relationships. But if you have not get into the trend, girl, these people are crazy. they be saying all type of crazy stuff. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first part, and I'm proud of myself because we actually moving quicker than I thought. Oop. So we did the intro. We on mindset. We're going to do mindset propaganda I am not falling for, okay? A weakness. Being in the Black household, you were always taught to like keep your feelings inside and never like let it show or whatever, or like Black boys don't cry, like all of these different things, you know what I mean? And so now that I'm getting older, it's like, that's not the case. You can definitely be strong and be vulnerable at the same time. So, no, do you have to be sensitive or whatever, but what is defined as sensitive? What is sensitivity? You know what I mean? Like, you can be empathetic, but at the same time, like, it's just because you feel things doesn't mean that you're a weak person. Like, you feel things, you feel for others. Like, that is all okay. Okay, hold on. Let me move this chest, please, because it is bothering me. It's bothering me. I be getting sidetracked. Okay, so we're on mindset. Okay. All right. The next one is you're not too much for wanting more. Like when you want things and you have boundaries and everything like that, it kind of feel like, people are saying that you want too much. Like women who have, a checklist of things they want in a relationship or in a spouse or a significant other, like you're too much. You need to take some stuff off the list, and all this other stuff. Or like if you're dating someone already and you have these different things that you want, he necessarily can't give it for you, right? But it's just like your expectations is not too much. It might be too much for that person, but that doesn't mean that you and what you want is too much. And I'm not falling for it. We're not crapping out like we talked about it in our last video. So another one is like holding it in and holding it all together. That's the same thing about vulnerability, but this is more about like always feeling like you have to be put together all the time, like you have to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be perfect. You can, you can have some seams a little loose or whatever. Like it's okay. Like I feel like we have this idea that you have to be perfect to be worthy of anything, really. Like you have to have yourself together. You have to have your ducks in a row before you can be worthy of being in love. Like there's this thing, like some women feel like, in order to get a man or get a man of means that you have to be put together and everything like that, but that's not necessarily the case. Sorry about the lighting. I don't know, this overcast or something, but we got to get these videos out. Okay, the next one, having to show and prove yourself. Like, first of all, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you are worthy already. I feel like in relationships or different things, like I feel like it's dating and we're gonna get to the love and relationship part, but it's just like dating certain type of people, they seem to think that women have to prove themselves. And I just don't think that that's the case. I don't think you have to prove yourself. I don't think you have to, like, you're ready already. Like, you're worthy already. You are the bee's knees. It's all about having that confidence within yourself. And that's something that we're going to work on. But it's just like, hold on, it's getting dark. I don't know. Does it look dark? I think it looks fine. See, that's what I be talking about. I'm trying not to make excuses not to do my lives, but it's just like, girl, it got dark out of nowhere. Like, it's really irritating me. And I have a lamp right here, but it's just don't be looking the same. But we're gonna do it anyway. All right, next one. Okay. The next one is confidence is loud and a crowd. So like some people think that you have to be like loud and you have to be very exuberant, very flashy, very, you know what I'm saying, to be confident. But confident isn't always being so loud and, you know what I mean? Like, you can be silent and be confident at the same time. Like, some people think the most confident person in the room is going to be the loudest person. That's not necessarily the case. And then also, some people think that just because you're in a crowd or you're outnumbered, that is going to be the winning team. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the case, because you can stand your own ground, just one person, right? So that's not always the case. All right. These are my warm-ups. Okay. The next one is, if it's not hard, right? If it's not hard, it's not worth it. This is something that really comes to me, is that it can be easy. Okay. We oftentimes feel like because it didn't come hard, you're not going to take care of it. You're not going to appreciate it. But sometimes things are easy and you don't have to always struggle for things, because I ain't gonna lie. When I work with different people, sometimes I give things to people out the kindness of my heart, and then people be feeling like, well, what I gotta do, da 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 da. Like, no. Or even like if you're in a relationship and you're starting to be with this new person or whatever, and they're doing more things for you and you're not accustomed to receiving, you're gonna be like, well, what do you want in return? Because you never, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like nobody is just gonna give you nothing for free, right? And so it's just kind of like, we have to shift that mindset that it's okay to be in a state of receiving. It's okay to, for people to give you things, and it's okay for things to be easy. It doesn't have to be hard all the time. Do we have to work for things? Absolutely. But do it have to be hard all the time? No. Absolutely no. It don't have to be hard. Oh, I saw it was red. I thought that the mic cut off. I be overstimulated, y'all. Okay, next one. Okay. Okay, another one. It says you're not a real woman if you're not self-sacrificing. Like, if you're not going and doing the most, then you're not a real woman. Absolutely not. I don't feel like you have to always be in a state of bending over backwards for other people to be worthy of anything, to be seen as a real woman or anything like that. I feel like we have that idea because of our grandmothers, our mothers, and the things that they went through, right? And is seeing that. But it's just kind of like, we're in a new narrative. We're in a new story. We're in a new vibe. And we don't have to constantly be bending over backwards for everybody else and not taking care of ourselves, right? We need to be taking care of ourselves, prioritizing ourselves and our needs and our happiness. We matter too, okay? And we need to come first. Exactly. All right, so the next one. There's only one acceptable version of success. And I'm gonna also say like Black women, we are not a monolith. So there's not just one type of a Black woman. Black women can have multiple varying interests and how they present themselves. It's not always gonna be like the Megan Thee Stallion vibes, and it's not gonna always be I can't think another time. I was gonna say Meghan Markle. I was getting on the Megans. It's not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna always be corporate baddie. It's not gonna always be love and hip hop. Like, it's different vibes. It's different strokes for different folks, right? And you can choose at any moment to, be interested in anything that you want to be interested in. You don't have to be married to one particular stereotype or stigma. So yeah, like, we're not falling for that. And we all don't think the same. We all have our own, concepts and ideas, and it's vast, right? So to just typecast one type of person is not going to be something that we're falling for, not in these days and times. Okay, so we're going to switch it up to the career. And I feel like I touched on some of it when I talked about mindset, but I feel like I need to talk about the mindset. So when I say the career ones, you know exactly where I'm coming from. And if I'm a little nervous, that's okay, because I'm thinking about the lighting. It got dark out of nowhere and we got to keep talking. We on live. Okay. All right. So the next one, and this one hit me in my chest. Okay. It hit me in my chest when I thought about it, was cream. Cash rules everything around me, right? Cream, get the dollar bill. Amen. And then the other one was, I think that's cream and cash rules everything around me. And I think that is propaganda that I am not going for anymore, because y'all, there are more to things. Like, there's more to life than just money and finances. Yes, money and finances is important, right? It is very important to have your finances and your money and everything together. But at the same time, like, when you're looking for a job or when you're looking for just quality of life, you want to make sure that, you know, how much time are you going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much time do you have free time to do the things that you need to do? What is your life going to look like outside of your job? Are they going to be calling and texting you all the time? Are they going to be, you know, you working these set hours, but, you know, it seemed like they want a little bit too much from you, right? You're doing everybody else's job and they're taking all the credit. Like, these are little things that we never think about, where I didn't think about until I was actually working, and I was like, oh my God. Somebody got me blanked up, right? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, okay, now we got to go back to our journal and we have to go in there and we have to revise, because I like to do a lot of scripting and journaling. So I was like, we need to add that back in there, right? Do you want people standing over your back, always emailing you talking about, can we circle back? Like, no. No. Do you want to have a lot of meetings where people are always, you know, getting buy-in and feedback and all this other stuff, and then it creates an environment where you never actually get things done? See, I'm a to-do list type of person, okay? I like to do my to-do list tick, 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 right? And I would I would prefer if I never had to talk to anybody else about anything on my to-do list. I just want to do my to-do list. I would prefer not to work in a group setting. I would like to get everything done on my to-do list. If I don't have to outsource it or anything like that, that would be great. But if I can't get it done, I have to come back to it. I don't like all of that. And these are things that matter a little bit more to me than the money. Like, do I have time for my own project? Do I have time? Like, when I get off of work, am I so tired that I take a nap over there? Because I almost took a nap and couldn't do this live, because I was like, dang, I sure would take a nap right at this time. It's 3:00. I would sure take my dog outside and get on that couch and take a nap. That's what I would do. And I was like, no, I have things to do today. I have things to do. So it's just like, money is not all, you know, I'm not going to say it's not all what it's cracked up to be, because it's very important. And I don't want to be insensitive to people that need, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you got to think about more things. I feel like I'm valuing time a little bit more than, you know, the money. All right, the next one. Choosing rest is not laziness, right? For some people, they can be on go all the time. They can be working and doing and everything like that. I need a break. I need a break. And I've learned that when I take a break, when I can mentally remove myself from things, you know, recalibrate my system and take a nap, right? I wake up with whatever the answer was. Sometimes we working at it too hard. We trying to carry the one, we trying to do the math, and it's not adding up. Take a nap, I don't know. The math work now. The math work when I get up from my nap. So I have to pencil in a nap in there. I have to. I really have to. And then sometimes I feel like, you know, we be irritated. People getting on your nerves. You need a nap. You need a nap. You need to just go sit in your car and take a nap. Like, literally, like, I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to stand by it. Like, I don't care. Or just maybe driving away from the job, not too far, because you might go home, but just driving and seeing the scenes, like looking at the trees and stuff like that. You might feel a little bit better. You might feel a little bit better if you went outside and touched a little bit of grass. I don't like touching the grass because it's bugs in the grass, so I just like to look at it. I like to look at it from the inside of my car, right? And think about the fact that I didn't drive off when I could have, right? So that's growth. That is growth. You need rest. You need rest. Next one. It says grind culture is how you earn respect. And I'm gonna say no. We're not gonna fall for that. And I might get a little flack. Some people might feel a type of way about this, but I'm gonna tell you a story. I was watching this movie called Office Space. I actually saw this movie first when I was senior year in high school. My English teacher showed the whole class that movie, and it was our favorite movie. At first, Friday was our favorite movie. We was always talking about Friday. We was always, acting out Baby Boy and Set It Off. But when we saw Office Space, right, we had a good time. So in the movie, this man, he worked in the office, right? And he hate his job. He goes to this hypnotherapist, and the hypnotherapist, basically had him feeling like he didn't care about his job no more. He felt like he was at the beach all day. Like he just did whatever he wanted to do. Now at his job though, right? I don't want to spoil it, but at his job, they were doing, what is the word? Like when they bring in professionals to do, they're trying to do I don't know what's the word. They were trying to bring in these professionals to see who was doing their job, right? And so they can make those budget cuts and different things like that. He wasn't doing anything at his job, and he got a promotion. Meanwhile, other people that were, they're doing their job. They're doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were able to explain it and everything like that. They were losing their jobs. They were losing his jobs, and he got a raise and a promotion because he just wasn't fooling with it no more. And I'm going to be honest with you. You probably feel like, where is this going? Listen, when you are at work, if you can delegate authority, you get more points for that. If you show that you can do all of the work, then they will use you to do all of the work. The people at the top do not be working like that. Not really. They don't really be working like that. And then this is how work go. On Monday, we're going to meet about what we're supposed to be doing. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to work. Thursday, we're going to meet again, and then we just, kind of closing it down. Friday, girl, we're having coffee, we're having donuts, nothing gets done on Friday. Like, we just showing up at this point. And then we have to circle back for Monday. So technically, in the business sense or whatever, you only work in Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We don't really work on Thursday, okay? But we shutting it down. Thursday by noon, you should be done, right? Because Friday, we're having donuts. We're having pizza, okay? That's what we're doing on Friday. Monday, it was weekend. Now we back at work. Okay? Like, don't be trying to do too much on a Monday. Okay? Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday at noon, that is when we are working. Okay? Technically on this 5-day work week. Yeah, and then if you are doing all of the work, they're going to make you do all of the work. You're going to be the go-to person. They're always going to be, even if you don't know how, you are the go-to person. So if you ever show yourself oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can make myself useful, then you going to be made useful until you can't be made useful no more. And then after that, they're going to start trying to feel like they're going to replace you. So what you need to do is delegate authority. You do what you can, and anything else, you just, or do it bad. You do it bad if you don't want to do it. That's what my grandma told me. My grandma told me you do it bad if you don't want to do it. They won't ask you to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad to where you lose it, but just kind of or maybe just don't do it at all, right? Don't do it at all. That's beyond my scope of focus, right? Perhaps so-and-so will be a better fit at this point. That is what you need to do. That is what you need to say. I'm so for real. If you let people know how smart you are, they will always be leaning on you to be smart. If you let people know how wonderful you are, they're going to always be trying to steal your ideas and take everything from you, bleed you dry. You give them the nickels, right? You give them the pennies. You keep them dimes and your quarters and them $50 and paper money for yourself. You give them your little scraps, because that's what they would give you. I know. I know I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but that's you can take how you want, but that's what it is. Okay. All right. Next thing, you have to suffer to succeed. No, you don't have to suffer to succeed, but you might have to, play a little personality hire games, make a little conversation, talk to people, be a person, just not a personality hire, just a personal person. When people are talking to you, like actually listen to what they're saying. Sometimes people are talking because they want to hear, so they can talk, so they can respond. But if you are actually listening, like an active listener, you can find out what people want, and you can figure out how you can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't always have to be the smartest person. You don't have to be the smartest person. You don't have to be, everybody feel like, oh, you got to have this, you got to have, no, you don't. You just got to play the part. You play your part, you play your role. You can be successful at anything. I promise you, you can. Don't fall for it. Okay? All right. If it is aligned, okay, I have my phone right here, so I don't want y'all to feel like, what you looking at? Okay. If it's aligned, it won't challenge you. I feel like for me, because things come easy to me all the time, I get real irritated when things don't come easy and I have to work a little bit harder for them. You know what I'm saying? I like a challenge, but dang, how much of a challenge are we gonna be doing? So it's just kind of like, I feel like iron sharpens iron. So if you're working towards something and you really want it, then you are willing to, do the work. Now, does everything have to be hard all the time? No. Sometimes the solution might be more simple. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't talk today. But the solution might be more simple than you thought it was. It might not always be, so complex. Like sometimes when we're trying to figure out a solution, we think that we got to go over here, do all of that. But it could be just something just so simple, something minute as well, something that don't even take a lot of time. So just consider that. The next one is saying that there is only one formula to success and productivity. Obviously, everybody finds their success. Everybody does what they need to do within their life in their own timing, and it's going to look different for everybody. Everybody is not going to find their success the same way. Some people go to college and that's how they find their success. Some people, start their businesses and that's how they find success. Some people work their 9 to 5. That's how they find success, and so on and so forth. Like everybody is going to find their own success, how they find their success. And then also you have to define like what is going to be the success for everybody. Everybody have a different definition of success. Some people don't want a mansion. Some people just want the 3-bedroom and a white picket fence. You understand? So everybody success is different. And I don't think that anybody success is better than anybody else's. But at the same time, yeah, right. And then productivity, everybody works differently. I think, it's very important, like when you are looking at jobs or even your own businesses, knowing how the productivity is going to be. Everybody, like if you're working in settings where you have to be in a meeting all day and they want to talk about this and talk about this, talk about theories, I don't work like that, right? So I don't thrive in environments where we're always talking about a theory or hypothetical. I deal in the present. Like what's happening right now, tangible. You know what I'm saying? Concrete. If we, like I don't have time to, and I'd be like, y'all are wasting my time. Like our time would be better served doing X, Y, Z. Like what is the goal? What are we trying to do? Right? But we spend all this time talking about theory, talking about hypothetical, talking about different methods and different things of that nature, doing experimental stuff. And I'm trying to get boots on the ground. I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to get it popping. Right? So you have to make sure that whatever you're doing, that your productivity makes space for how you work, right? Because I'm not talking, some people, they need to talk to other people. They need to, bounce ideas off of each other and different things like that. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but for me, it sounds like you're biting, right, off of my idea. I don't want to give you an idea and then you say, that's a great idea. I think we should all do that. I don't want like, my idea, everybody got to do it. You see what I'm saying? Or somebody else's idea, we all got to do it. No, that's your idea. We don't all have to test your idea. You know what I mean? And I don't like to share all of my ideas because I've had bad experiences where people take my ideas and claim them as their own when they have proven to be successful. But if it wasn't successful, right? Then they blame you for that too. Like, oh, that was your idea. But if it was good, oh, that was my idea. No. So just keeping all of that in mind. All right, so we're gonna move on because I don't want to be talking about work all the time. Okay, the other one, the propaganda is your work is your life. This not on my list, but it need to be. You are more than your job. Okay, you are more than your job. You are more than what you do for work. Now, some people are passionate about their 9-to-5s. That's what they wake up for every day and they love it. That is their thing. But there are a lot of us that we just going to work to pay bills. That's all we doing. And we just look, visibility for the people that just want to pay these bills. Just want to keep the lights on. Okay, just want to keep the lights on. That's why I'm here. So no, I don't really care about the theory. I can say good morning. I can ask you, how are you doing? But after that, we're done. We are done. We are finished. Okay. Like, I'm going to have a conversation, but that's it. That's all I can give you. I can't give you too much. All right. Not trying to have a whole thing like we're actually talking. No. I was being polite. Okay. And we're here to get paid. And, we're going to normalize that. That's why I'm here. So my job is not my life. We work to pay bills. We don't work for fun. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go to love and relationships. I'm hoping I'm making sense and I hope I'm not too nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you guys really quick. I put in a work order. When I'm at home, it's summer break, I put in a work order for my apartment and I thought they were gonna come today, and it's 5:00 and they ain't came. So I was like, any moment now. That's why I'm nervous, y'all. I'm so nervous. I'm waiting on them to knock on my door. I'm waiting on them to knock on my door like, hey girl, and I'm like, oh, please don't come during my live. Maybe they'll come tomorrow, but I need them to really come. It's my dishwasher. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about love and relationships. All right, boom. Let me fix. Okay. So love and relationship. We at 28 minutes. We doing good. Okay. All right. Your happiness. Okay. Let me get close. Your happiness is dependent on someone else or something else. I used to think that being in relationships, that the other person, and hopefully this is not on my list, that they were going to complete me, or I was going to find the happiness within them or within a different situation, right? But the happiness is in the self, right? The happiness is in the self. You have to already be happy before you get into a relationship with somebody. You have to already be whole and complete before you add an extra party into the situation. Okay, so it's not that you're looking for someone else to complete you, because that's what creates that codependent dynamic, right? You want to make sure that you are coming to yourself. You have everything that you want within yourself. Not saying that you have to, you got to have your degree, you got to have this, you got to have that before you can be in a relationship and before you can have love, right? Because sometimes we think that, and I saw this on Instagram Reels, that this lady was saying that she felt like love was supposed to come or didn't come because she didn't reach all of the things that she needed to do. Like, she didn't complete everything on her task list. And I don't think that's right. We was like this, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't come. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel like love come unless you're on the vibrational match for it. But also, like, sometimes it'll come when it comes. Like, it'll get there when it might not get there when you want it there, but it's always on time. Right? I don't know. Your girl is single, but I have really been enjoying the single life. I have really been enjoying, like, coming into my own, being my own person, my own little routine, my own little vibe. I ain't gonna lie. When I was in high school, when I was in college, I always had to be dating somebody. I always had to be in a relationship. I was boy crazy, girl. I was all over the place. I had a wonderful time. All right. But now I really like the peace of being by myself and not having to deal with anybody else and whatever they bring to the table. So if they're coming to me, they need to already, like, it's peaceful over here. It's peaceful. Not saying that we don't do too much, but it's just very peaceful. It's a nice little routine. I don't want nobody messing my routine up. I got my things the way I like it. I do. I really do. And so I have really found comfort in being myself living with myself, like in silence. Like some people can't be with themselves in silence. Like, you hear that? I can sit like that all day and I would be fine. Okay, I would be so fine. I actually prefer it that way, you know. And it's funny, like, I'm not gonna talk about work no more, but them kids, their punishment would be to sit in silence. Like literally, we're all gonna put our head down and be quiet. We're overstimulated, you know, and they can't do it. Adults can't do it. They can't sit in silence. They can't sit with themselves. Like it's something within them that just can't be quiet. Just can't do it. I'm like, no, like we need to sit in silence, calm, still, peace and tranquility. That's what we're doing over here. Okay. Next one. Oh, I almost dropped my phone. Okay. What's the next one? It said typecasting. This is going to hit somebody in the chest. It's going to hit me too. It says typecasting a demographic based on past experiences. And what do I mean by typecasting? I need water for this one. So I feel like there is this thing where we feel like we can find love in a different demographic because certain experiences with one demographic has led us to believe that that's how they all act. So just like Black women, we aren't a monolith. I believe that other demographics are not going to be a monolith. Some women believe that you can get a white man and he's going to have some money. I have my thoughts on that. And briefly, it's going to be not necessarily the case. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to because I don't believe in and we're going to talk about this race war. You know what I'm saying? Race wars and fighting each other because of the demographics. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into all of that. I feel like no one demographic is going to be whatever you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't typecast the entire demographic. What you can do is look at certain expectations, make sure that they're meeting those expectations. I'm not going to say that all Black men are this. I'm not going to say all white men are this or all this and this. Like we're not going to do that. We're not. I feel like what that breeds is divide, discord, and really ultimately it's very divisive. And if anything that's on this list, this is probably the most propagandic thing on my list. Really it is, because who wins in a scenario where we're all fighting each other or we all have this type of resentment toward each other? Can we address why we have the resentment? Absolutely. But I don't feel like it's something that we need to harp on. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't say that, you know, and it's really within our own community, but in real life, girl, it's not that deep. If you go outside, it's not about, you know, white, Black or nothing. It's if you go outside, somebody is going to talk to you. Like that's all you know what I'm saying? Like I like to look on the bright side. I like to live in the happiness. And I feel like we're online so much, right? And we see stuff and I feel like a lot of stuff is just rage bait. So it's baiting you, but it makes you angry. And so you get engagement off the fact that it is, girl, it's propaganda. This is it right here. Because who gains something? Who gains something from you feeling like this about other people? Because I don't think it's all that deep, right? Now, I will say if you're on the apps, good luck. But those are people who are more likely to be on apps, not a definitive factor of everybody, right? So now we have to go outside, and that's a problem because we're not going outside. We're not socializing and we're not actually having conversation because regular people don't be thinking like that. It's on the internet. It's only on the internet. Like when you go outside and you look at the sun and the sky and you hear the birds chirping, none of that is going on. Nobody's doing it. It's everything on the internet. So you already know. I'm telling you, girl, it's not like that for real in real life, you know? So whenever you see stuff like that, think about who stands to gain the most out of a situation where you're hating, or not even hating, but just having this feeling towards somebody else. I feel like right now we have bigger fish to fry. This is not a political vibe. Okay, because I don't like to get into the, but this, listen, there are things at play, and who stands to gain from us being divided? Now, are there things? Yes, but I don't be feeling like it's as deep as we feel like it is. It's not as deep as we think. Okay, the next one, you have to lower your standards to find a partner. I think I touched on it earlier, but now we in the real love section. And I just don't think that you have to lower your standards particularly. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to lower your standards to find love, to be in love or anything. I was watching this reel and there was this lady, she's a comedian, okay? And if you know who I'm talking about, you can comment. But she was like, when you single long enough, you start ticking things off the list. And she was like, I can read for the both of us. See, right there, no. Absolutely not are we going to be reading for the both of us. That's a lot, girl. I'm telling you, we are not reading for the both, because listen, it's just like, what I'm feeling is like, do you believe God only when things are going good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you have to hold it down for your standards. Don't start taking stuff off the list just because you feel like things are getting harder, or because that you feel like you're not finding it, because some things need to stay on the list. Okay? Those boundaries, those standards, they're going to keep you safe. They're going to keep you aligned, right? You're not going to go for stuff that you're not gonna go for, right? We're not reading for another thing. Like, we're not gonna be in situationships. Like, he needs to be able to communicate. You can't take stuff like that off the list. It has to stay on the list. It's on the list for a reason, right? So don't just be taking stuff off the list. And if you're in a situation where the guy or whoever is saying that you want too much, no. You want more than they can provide for you, right? So find another one. That's why we have to have that confidence. Like, if he don't do it, somebody else gonna do it. Because trust me, if you go outside, right, get yourself done up and go outside. That's all you gotta do. Go see the sun. If you go see the sun, you're going to meet somebody's son. I'm telling you right now. I never lie. Go outside. Next one. Oh yeah. Yes. I love y'all in the chat. Shout out to Brittany Perry. Shout out to you, and then shout out to Gangsta Cap. All right, the next ones, we are still in love. I don't know why my phone keeps going up like that. Okay, it says that there's a time limit on love, and I think that goes to like believing that love and like everything is gonna happen on a specific timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was growing up, a young whippersnapper, I thought that I was going to get engaged by 26, 27. I was going to be married by 30, have my first kid at 31. I am 31 and we have done nothing. I'm not going to say we've done nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I have really come into my own, and I'm really enjoying this thing. So much to the point where I'm not particularly, like, I don't really care whether or not I'm not going to say whether I get married or have kids, because I really do like my little apartment, and I really do like my dog. And I was thinking about getting another dog, but my mom got a dog. And so now I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't want anything to disturb the equilibrium, okay? The peace and the tranquility that comes into here. So it's just like, I'm okay with waiting it out. You have to be okay with yourself. I'm going to keep saying it. You have to be okay with yourself. Some people just cannot sit with themselves because what they see in the mirror is too much, right? So if you've done that work on yourself, then I value my energy, my space, my time, just my essence more than anything else. And I would never want anything to like come into my life and damage that, So I don't know. Moving on. Shout out to Jane Tucson. I know. Look, I'm going to come out with some shirts, y'all. I'm going to come out with some shirts. Okay. All right. It says, you have to dim your light to keep love. I feel like when we're in relationships or even like friendships, you feel like you can't be your entire self, right? You can't be your entire self because You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they will accept you, but that's not the particular relationship for you, because you should be able to be yourself. You should be able to show up as who you are. Like if you're in a relationship and you feel like you have to hide yourself, they don't know who you are, or even friendships. Really, that one was for friendships, because sometimes when you are friends with people, they accept you and they love you, but it's conditional based on how you're showing up, and they want you to always show up the way you've been showing up. But say you want to lose weight, say you want to try a different hairstyle, say you want to go back to school, or you want to, try to have your own business and different things of that. Like they are going to be the first ones to like ask you questions. Like they're going to give you a whole, like if you going into Walmart to return something, they're going to be asking you all these questions like, well, what's wrong with it? Well, you think that's going to work? Since when have you been da 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 da? You think that's you, girl? You don't even, all of that energy. You're just like, girl, I'm just trying to better myself. I'm trying to, you think you're too good? No, we want to do something different. Why you want to do something different? This all we, like we don't want to do all that. Why it just can't be, I want to do something different. Like why it got to be all this extra stuff? And so you end up showing up as a, just turning that light a little down, right? Because you don't want to overwhelm anybody else, right? But I feel like it's natural, and I said it in my other videos, it's like it is natural, like when you want to better yourself, for the dead weight, the dead wood to fall apart. Okay, so don't be afraid to lose people on the way, because it is natural. The next one is going to be, if it's not aesthetic, then it's not real. I feel like because we're on social media, we feel like we have to put all of our good things on social media. Like we have to put our pictures, everything has to be perfect, everything has to be tailored, everything has to be like, even like when I look at prom pictures for the girls, for the kids, like, my God. I had rosy cheeks, right? And a little Empress, like, I don't know what it's called, but it was just like a tutu prom dress. Like it was, but it's just kind of like there's so much pressure for perfection. And you feel like if it's not aesthetic, or if you didn't have a picture, then it didn't happen, or it's not real. And that's not always the case either, right? So we want to make sure that we're living for ourselves in the moment. Do we want to, like, if you're doing an influencer, okay, yeah, but it's just like, even then, like, when do you really get to be yourself? When do you really get to be your authentic self, showing up as yourself? I feel like we're too airbrushed, we're too much with the Facetune, and we have lost touch with reality. You lost touch with, you need to go outside. We need to go outside. We need to see the sun. We need to go out there and have the breeze, right? Get in touch with nature, because it's not as deep as we think it is. Like, honestly. Okay, that is all of them. That is all of them. And I only did 43 minutes. I'm so proud of me. Let me look at this. Yeah. I feel like as millennials, that's how we all feel. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like, girl, I feel like as a millennial, like we wanted everything to happen, but it's just not happening the way we thought it was. You know what I mean? Like we thought that, girl, why is everything so expensive? Everything I said in the beginning of the video, I was talking about how money is not everything, and it's not. But at the same time, eggs are doing a lot right now. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, and as a millennial, I feel like we've been through a lot. As far as like history, you had the towers, 9/11, you had all this stuff happen during our lifetime. We got a whole news segment going on right now with the you know what I'm saying, Elon and associates. So it's just like, it's too much. Like, when we just gonna chill, so yeah, that's another reason why I'm not on a timeline, because I don't know, I need to add this on there. I was thinking about age, like at 31, like all of the sitcoms that we were watching at that time, like the sitcoms, they were 30. And girl, right now, I could probably pass for a smooth 25. I feel like 25, 26, If I didn't have makeup on, 17, okay, 18. If I didn't have makeup on and I didn't have a wig on, younger than that. You see what I'm saying? And that's because I stay stress-free. But even still, the pressure that we have on not aging, or thinking that things have to be, or like even with like celebrities, like they can't age and all this other stuff, like that is a whole different thing too, because there's nothing wrong with getting old. There's nothing wrong with getting old, and it's a beautiful thing, so that's another one. But I don't want to stay on here too long. Thank you. I want to shout out the people that popped up for me, wrote something in the little chat. Okay, so again, shout out to Brittany Perry, Jane Toussaint, and Gangsta Cap. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all know I'm trying to do these lives. Hold on. Oh, that's a good one. Propaganda. Jane said propaganda. I'm gonna figure out how to put the chat on the live. I'm gonna figure that out tomorrow and by Wednesday. That's what I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna figure out how to put the chat on the live. That's on my to-do list. But Jane said propaganda that I no longer subscribe to. Home ownership is the American dream. I would say the same thing. Too, because I like being in an apartment because I don't have to, like, the dishwasher. Like, I'm going to put in a request and they're going to come fix it. Like, with homeowners, you have to fix everything yourself. And sometimes it could be like a money pit. You know what I mean? Like, you fixing all this stuff and then you have interest rates. And then I was on Instagram. You got homeowners association. Look, I would be fighting in the parking lot or in the street if somebody told me that I couldn't have something on my house that I pay for every day. I'm like, no, you can come outside, baby. You can come on outside and we can just go to court, because I'm not dealing with it. I'm not. You're not gonna tell me what I can do to my house. And it is a nightmare because of the interest rates and different things. And I feel like the prices have gone up or whatever, because like the prices are going up. And something that we definitely have to look at is you have all these corporations, they're buying houses and they're raising the prices on that housing market or whatever. So yeah, they doing it on purpose because they want everybody to rent. But at the same time, I don't like having to pay out extra money. I don't like having to pay out, like if something break, I don't want to be on the line and having to call it. And my deepest fear, okay, y'all, don't laugh, but the lights go out in this city a lot. And I have done the research, and I picked an area that does not lose power for nothing. I didn't even, we had a hurricane, and I didn't even know it was a hurricane. I didn't know. I had lights the whole time. I cut my lights off in solidarity for the people. But yeah, that's another thing. I don't want to get a house and then it's not, like, you got to look at flooding. Like, you got to look at everything. And so I just don't want to risk that. I don't want to risk it. And then it was a freeze one time. I was in an apartment and I didn't have my dog back then, but y'all, I was boiling noodles with candles. It was so cold. I will never go back to that again. So I have to stay in the area. I have to make whatever it is, it needs to be prepped up for emergencies, because I just can't. I can't risk it. Yeah. Now, and then you have to pay your property taxes. I was on some Instagram, somebody, what she does was with the houses and the trailers, if you don't pay your taxes, they can take it from you. Even a trailer, like a mobile home. It's like, no shade, but we got to be better to each other. Like, why are you taking people's trailers? Why are you taking people's houses and stuff? I mean, I get it. Everybody is looking for a come up, but it's too much. One day I might want a house, but I don't think I want one right now until they get it together. Whether they get it together or not, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to keep y'all long. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing up. I will see y'all on Wednesday. We are going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5, okay? And I might do like 5:15 or whatever, so we can have time, because I don't know if that's too early or, you know. So let me know. But I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hold on.